Hey, what's up? What's up? This is Pure Heart. I'm Steven. So make sure you like, share, subscribe first. Hit that bell for notifications. And for some odd reason, I came across this other article. I'm not sure why this article exists per se, but I might have a lot of things to say about the article itself because I just don't know how to react to this because it's the most random thing. I have to double check to see if this was an updated story. But hey, listen, I will go ahead and say this. It may or may not be true, but there's a lot of speculation going on with the Kardashians and their faith or lack of faith, right? So let me get started with this article. Basically, the article is Kourtney Kardashian praises God after foetal surgery saved her unborn baby. So Kourtney Kardashian praises God after foetal surgery saved her unborn baby. That's the title. Now, before I read it, I want to say a lot of people use God as a way to be thankful, and that's fine. That's perfectly fine. But we know these days that people's version of God may not be the version of God that we Christians have, right? So I just want to keep that clear before I continue the article. And again, it happens with every culture. They know, like, they're not atheists, but they have an understanding if there's a God out there, or they just say it because it's the thing to say. So I want to make that very clear. And I'm curious to see what this article says. It's from, who's the article writer? I'll let you guys know later. But I'm not attacking the writers or anything, but I just want to clarify before I read it, because I don't want you guys to think I'm actually like thinking that Kourtney Kardashian's a Christian or not. She is, from her family in terms of their race and everything, like is from a Christian, let's say, nation. I believe it's Armenian, right? They're known to be Christians. I get that, but does it mean anything to me? Especially kind of understanding how they've lived their lives. And I don't know much about Kourtney per se, but I think she's the oldest sister. Has a lot of kids, so I'll give her that. The guy who married her did a very good job in seducing. I'm just kidding. I don't think they're together. But hey, he benefited from it. So the article says reality TV star Kourtney Kardashian has praised God after her unborn baby successfully underwent foetal surgery, a procedure in which surgeons operate on babies while they are still in the womb. Pretty complicated surgery, it looks like. In an Instagram post, the 44-year-old shared her gratitude to the doctors for saving our baby's life, quote unquote. She wrote, as quote, as someone who has had 3 really easy pregnancies in the past, I wasn't prepared for the fear of rushing into urgent fetal surgery. I don't think anyone who hasn't been through a similar situation can begin to understand that feeling of fear. I have a whole new understanding and respect for the mamas who have had to fight for their babies while pregnant. All right, that's good. Quote, praise be to God, walking out of the hospital with my baby boy in my tummy and safe was the truest blessing. So that's what she said, end quote. The Kardashian, who made headlines in 2022 for her extravagant wedding with Blink-182 drummer Travis Baker, good drummer by the way, has previously attended Hillsong Church in LA. Okay, doesn't say mean anything, but okay. And quoted Bible passages on her social media platform. That's always good. Although the wedding was originally planned in a Catholic church, the denomination blocked the ceremony. It was finally conducted in a remote location in Italy and led by evangelical pastor Chad Veach, who led Zoe Church in Los Angeles. I believe Zoe Church is the same church that Chris Pratt goes to Chris Pratt. You guys know Chris Pratt, of course you do. So Chris Pratt, I believe, used to go to Hillsong a lot. I think the Hillsong LA that I went to at one point, I also went there at one point, and Chris Pratt and I believe Justin Bieber and maybe even Selena Gomez visited there together with Justin Bieber, I believe. At one point, that was when they were broken up. I think that was before he married his wife. Justin Bieber did. Kylie Bieber is her name. I don't know. So, continuing, other members of the Kardashian family are also said to adhere to the Christian faith. Okay, Kim Kardashian West, for example, was baptized by the Orthodox Church in Armenia, in 2020, along with several of her children. Okay, and getting well, Kanye wanted that to happen with the baptism anyway, so they probably did some compromise. We could do it at this church. I think that's what happened. I think Kanye obviously initiated. I don't think Kim Kardashian personally cares about baptism. Maybe she does it for ritual, like not ritual, but just to do it, just like, okay, it's a thing to do. But I don't think she actually took it seriously personally. Maybe she did. She's Armenian. I don't know. It's kind of like people who grew up in Catholic Church or Judaism. They do the Judaism thing because it's just a thing to do, because that's what the family's always done. So who knows? And again, I'm not bashing the article here. I'm not sure, again, why this article exists per se. I don't see what the point is, but it's nice to know that there is some type of Christian influence even with the Kardashians, as bad as they are in terms of not really being the best example for women. And because for women to be filthy rich is not exactly, it's impressive, but it's not, doesn't really say anything about them and their character per se. So if you see all these stories about them and, the way they, like Kim Kardashian treated Kanye and, things like that, makes you wonder what their faith actually is. I never once believed that Kim Kardashian or Kourtney Kardashian were Christians. Now, I know very little about Kourtney Kardashian. She might be a Christian. She has kids. A lot of mothers who have kids do think differently. Usually they want to be more in the faith. They usually want to go to church with their kids, maybe later on when they mature and everything. But Kim, I don't think she ever changed. She never changed the way she dressed, all this. I don't think Kourtney did either. But, and I recently saw this thing on this, it's called Whatever Podcast. I believe Candace Owens was on there or whatever. And they were, was it Whatever Podcast? No, it was another podcast. It was another one, but it was like Whatever Podcast. And this girl, she's claimed to be a Christian. She said, I'm a Christian, I'm born again, blah, blah, blah. But she's on OnlyFans. She says she's promoting like the Bible and promoting her faith. And she's kind of being transparent of where she is. Kind of like what I do on this channel, but in her case, she's dressing in a way that you would never believe that she's a Christian. She dresses in either nothing, or maybe she has no shirt on, or maybe she has like a bra, or maybe she has like a sports bra. Kind of like what she wore at the we call it the podcast. And she says I'm not perfect, but I'm not trying to pretend I'm perfect or anything. And no one's expecting to be perfect. It's okay to say that you're not perfect, but there's a way to carry yourself as a woman, obviously, if you're born again, and how the Christian community is in general, and traditionally speaking. So if you're trying to change the way Christians are perceived, I would understand, but do you really want Christians to be perceived in that way if you're representing God? I don't think God approves of it. So if you don't think God approves of it, maybe it's not best to do it. That's all I'm saying. So that was kind of the argument of the panel, and she was arguing with the host, and even though he was Muslim, I believe, and the other guy was Christian, but the Christian guy was like, hey, you can't represent God dressing like that. And that's kind of how I feel with the Kardashians as a whole. Again, I will do some more research on Kourtney herself and what she really believes, but it's not my business really. But I'm just saying, like, this is what the articles I found said. Now, the article is not claiming that Kourtney Kardashian is a Christian or anything. I think they're just alluding to the possibility of her being Christian. Maybe they give the Christians who, for some reason, like the Kardashians or watch the Kardashians or are fans of them, they're like, oh, it's cool. Kourtney might be a Christian. She praise God. It's kind of like when the conservative side on the political side gets really excited when a celebrity like claims they're conservative, or they claim that they're Christian, or things like that. And I like to see it. It's nice to see that there are people out there in the industry that are Christians. I just don't see the reason why we need to be so excited when a celebrity does it versus when, let's say, our neighbor does it. We should be more excited about our neighbor being saved than a celebrity, in the sense that they're all important, right? So I get that celebrities are very influential, so maybe it's a bigger deal to some people. Like, oh, this is a big deal. This is a big, like, actor, whatever. But listen, no matter who's a Christian and who's not a Christian, there's going to be parts of Hollywood that's going to be very sinful, and there's going to be parts of Hollywood that are not as sinful, and there's going to be parts of Hollywood that are completely, like, clean, right? They even do clean roles as much as possible. Denzel's kind of in the middle, right? We all know he's a Christian, but he's kind of like, he had a movie release, called The Equalizer. Good movie, but very violent. But doesn't mean violence in and of itself is sin. Really, it was just him defending the town. So you can't really criticize him for that role. You can criticize him for maybe like cussing or doing certain things in his past movies, but he was acting, and as a Christian, acting can be very, very tricky because you have to be very careful what roles you play. So that's really just the challenge. And for Kim Kardashian and Kourtney Kardashian and the others, they're not acting, they're just reality TV stars. They're putting on persona, so it should be very, very simple for them to just change when Kanye was there, right? It could have been really easy, but they chose not to do it. So this is why I don't believe that Kourtney is fully there, because, women in general they kind of group together, right, in their thinking. So the dominant one like Kim or Kourtney, I don't know who's more dominant. Kourtney's older, but Kim is Kim. So I think Kim can be influenced. I think she's more of a stubborn person, right? And Kourtney, I think she might be able to be more influenced as well if she has the right person to do it. I think that the probably people she's dated hasn't been the best influence on her. So it's really up to, like, I think the person she's with to really influence her in a positive way. I think Kanye didn't do well with Kim because she was very stubborn. It was kind of working in a way, but she went to church with him at that one point. She went to, I think it was, what's his name's church? The one that people don't like. And he visited other churches, he went everywhere. He went to Coachella too and did some gospel album. But the point is, Kanye did try, right? But Kim wasn't about that life. Kim was about that other life, She belonged to the streets, and that's what they say. So it's bad for her kids because now her kids are kind of stuck with her. And I think Kanye does visit them too. I think they have some type of relationship, but everything that Kim did after the divorce and sleeping with that guy, what's his name, that comedian guy, and the comedian guy making fun of him and saying, oh, I'm with your wife, sleeping with your wife now, we can do about it, all that stuff. And Kim didn't do much about it. She didn't apologize. She didn't not that she had to apologize because they're already divorced, but you know what I mean? Like, she didn't seem like a good enough person to really care, right? She didn't care enough to, so, and also it's a bad influence for the kids. So again, if that's what a Christian is, then maybe the Christians of today need to really update their game and like get better at, like, at the very least being a decent person. At the very least do that. It shouldn't be hard. And non-Christians are better than a lot of Christians these days. So us Christian community needs to get together and stop being pieces of crap to each other, and maybe we can have some progress in life. All right, because America needs us. All right, the world needs us if you're watching across the world. So let's get our stuff together and stop acting like a bunch of degenerates, and let's represent God in a very good way. Everybody has their personalities, everybody has their things, everybody has their flaws, but come on. Bad personality, good personality, it's not hard to figure out, guys. Work on that. Let's all work on that. So I'm not trying to preach to anybody. The same goes to me. I'm preaching to myself. All right. So let's be good at the very least to each other. Support each other like a community would. And anybody who's attacking us from the outside, we defend each other. That's how we should be. All right. And don't try to be like, oh, I'm not like those Christians. No. If they read the Bible, if they're trying to say, yes, there are all different types of Christians out there, different types of denominations. But at the end of the day, we're trying to get to a point where we're not so religious to the point where we don't accept anybody or accept different ways of doing things, as long as it lines up with biblical principles and what the Bible says or doesn't say. Some things are obvious, some things you have to kind of look through and kind of see, okay, this is what they mean. So look through it, look through the Bible, understand. And I'm gonna do some more Bible studies. Maybe I'll hashtag some people on YouTube to kind of collaborate. I would love to work with some unmentionables. I'll mention them, but later on when this channel gets bigger, I would like to work with them and people in like different industries who are Christian, but they are kind of coming out. And I want to do that as well. And this channel is really for that as well. So if you guys like this, make sure you like, share, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications, and we will be back with more news, updates, articles, film industry, what's going on in the entertainment industry and what to do as a Christian, and just the overall Christian perspective of life and history. So again, like, share, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications, and God bless.